Chair Cass, it's 7 p.m. So whenever you're ready to start.
Okay, good evening. This is the Design Review Commission meeting for October 14th, 2025. Call to order. We'll do roll call. I'm Glenn Cass, Chair.
Check. Richard Stanton, present.
Thank you. Item is adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda or any amendments to the agenda?
I'll move that we adopt the agenda. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next item is public comments that are under the purview of this commission, but are not on the agenda tonight or in future agendas. Do you have a comment?
Yes, so I'll be speaking.
Oh, well, that will be,
Yeah.
yeah, that's on that
Thanks.
agenda item. Okay, no one on Zoom tonight? Or do we have Zoom attendance?
If any participants on Zoom would like to speak regarding a non-agenda item, please use the raise hand feature in Zoom now. There are no raised hands.
Okay, thank you. Next item is the consent calendar. We have the minutes of meeting for September 22nd. Do we have any amendments to those meetings or do I have a motion to adopt?
I'll move that we approve the minutes of September 22nd. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
No study sessions tonight, no continued public hearings. The first new item, public hearings is HDP 32-22C, B14-24, LLR 04-24. This is the Robinson Family Trust. The item that we are going to be looking at is a conversion of 680 square feet of internal space into a private residential wine tasting room. The presenter tonight for staff will be Nicole.
Thank you, Chair Cass, and good evening, everyone. For some project site context shown on screen, the project site is located in the northeastern portion of Lafayette at the end of a cul-de-sac, which extends down a short valley to the south. On the screen are both 19 and 20 Spring Hill Lane, which are under common ownership. And tonight I will be focusing on 20 Spring Hill Lane, which is the southern parcel. This project proposes to convert space within the existing hobby train tunnel on 20 Spring Hill Lane into a private bar tasting room for residents. And this is the scope of work that staff is requesting the DRC consider tonight. Shown on the screen, outlined in orange, is the proposed converted area. The blue arrows on my figure reference the images of the openings to the tunnel. This is entirely within the tunnel and is not visible from off-site. The applicant previously provided an area of the converted space to be 680 square feet, which is reflected in the staff report, but later clarified to staff that the actual area is 501 square feet. The renovations to the space would include a bar, powder room, and utility closet. This area is private and cannot be open to the public nor operated for a nonprofit enterprise. Its use is limited to that of a tasting room, cellar, or bar present at any other private residence in Lafayette. Staff has reviewed the project against the findings and recommends that the Design Review Commission find the project exempt from CEQA and adopt Design Review Resolution 2025-11, approving the project subject to standard conditions. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for staff, from commissioners?
No.
None. Okay, the applicant, you have 10 minutes to do a presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you. The project we're here to discuss is, as mentioned, is a private space. In fact, if it was a public tasting room, I would oppose it myself. It's not visible, as has already been said, on the property, and is already built inside the thrift tunnel. If you have any questions, my designer, Mark Becker, is here to answer. Short and sweet.
And are you gonna do a presentation or you're just here for
I
questions?
think we're good.
Okay, commissioners, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No.
No. I do. So the train has been operational for how long? And does it currently run in the tunnel or is it not finished in that area?
It's not entirely finished. I mean, the tunnel is finished. It's been permitted and signed off and everything. This is a conversion of inside the space. The train tracks are in place. And so the train is operational.
Okay,
It's an electric mining train. Like that big, that big.
now, some of the correspondence talks about a steam train.
There's no steam.
There's no steam train.
It's
Okay,
electric only.
okay. Any other questions? Okay, we're ready for comments from the public. So I have, Miss Debbie Lindez. How do you pronounce that?
Lindis.
Okay, thank you.
So, good evening. My name is Debbie Lindis, and I live next door to the project at 19 and 20 Spring Hill Lane. This hearing has been called to ask you to consider plans for a 680 square foot speakeasy, that's what the owners and their architect call it, inside an existing tunnel, as though it were a minor addition to an approved project. It is not. As you see in the documents from the commission's only prior review of this project in 2022, which are included in the staff packet, this commission has not approved the nearly football field length tunnel within which that speakeasy sits. You have not approved the hillside railroad and trestle, which disrupt the contour of the hillside and sit in full view of the neighborhood. You have not approved variance for the pool house that sits far inside the setback. You have not approved the landscaping plans, which include a wall of redwood trees that will block neighbors' view of the hillside. You have not approved the 15-foot high entry gateway. Nor do you, or we, as the immediate neighbors, have any assurance that this construction is safe. Where's the assurance from the fire protection district that a train running on a hillside of dead grass is safe? It doesn't exist. Where is the assurance from the county that the stormwater drainage plan is sufficient to prevent a landslide into my yard? It doesn't exist. Where's an assessment of the environmental impact of the hillside train track or the 250-foot tunnel? It doesn't exist. And where's an assessment of the soil conditions and seismic safety of the tunnel or hillside railroad track? It does not exist. A vote tonight to approve the speakeasy amounts to adding this commission to the list of city employees and agencies who have actively contributed to this wealthy property owner's attempt to completely bypass all proper processes and Lafayette Municipal Code to build a private amusement park. You will have added your chapter to the playbook for other ultra wealthy people to build whatever they want in residential neighborhoods with utter disregard for their neighbors, the integrity of the hillsides, and public safety. At the absolute minimum, before approving any further work on this project, I urge the commission to thoroughly review the scope of the project as approved in 2022 compared to what has been built, and to inspect the site yourselves. Insist that public agencies review the project in its entirety to evaluate its safety. Conduct a thorough investigation into the behind-the-scenes staff actions that led to the result we have: a private amusement park within a quiet hillside residential neighborhood. I urge you to uphold the integrity of this commission and of the city's design review process by voting to reject proposed resolution 2025-11. Thank you.
One moment. I have a question for you.
Sure.
I sat on DRC in that time when it was approved.
Yeah.
I remember very few comments, if any, from the community regarding this project. Did you attend that meeting? Were you part of the
I
community?
did attend that meeting. Yes, I did.
Okay,
And that wasn't what a point I'm making here is that project and this project are not the same project.
okay.
I did not object to that project as proposed, as permitted in March of 2023.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Next speaker,
this construction. There's no geology report. They haven't produced it. They can't find it. It doesn't exist. Instead, we've all been subjected to the daily dirt clouds, truck damage and blockage, ear splitting noise that you hear with freeway construction, sometimes 6 days a week. And in the emails that you'll see, applicants think this experience is a joke, laughing about blasting parties and jackhammer symphonies. And there's no end in sight. And why? For an amusement park that was not presented to you back in 2022. Now, going forward, this tunnel, party room, the sound effects, the train screeches will magnify the ongoing harm, to my family and our home. Now, far from this quiet, ho-hum private tasting room, the only rational purpose for a structure like this is entertainment. Pixar corporate parties, hoping to induce screams and hoots on this boiler train with their whistles and their screeches like the audio that I provided, and that I hope you have a chance to listen. Phony explosions, cracking mine shafts. This is all in their documents. Again, they didn't present it to the commission before, but they're coming forward and saying, move along, nothing to see. Now, the DRC has records showing that Mr. Wolf and his staff had plans for this tunnel in 2022, concealed it from the DRC, concealed it. You know that. It's not a debatable fact. And upon reviewing our complaint to the DRC and the Planning Commission in 2024, what did Mr. Wolf do? Did he call a meeting with y'all? Did he even show it to you? We don't know. We know that he spent the last 18 months meeting in private with these folks on how to push this through. And that is not fair, open, and honest government. It's just not. So going forward, the value of my home has been diminished. Our use and enjoyment, privacy is lost. And why? Why? That is a big question. So in our view, the DRC cannot credibly approve this application without calling for an independent and impartial investigation of what happened and how we got here. Because if this tunnel is unlawful, there's no for a minute. Thank you.
Okay, can I ask you the same question, Mr. Hoffman? Was you
Certainly.
present in 1922 at the meeting?
No, I reviewed the plans, and as I've told the doctors, if they just build the project that they showed you, we don't have any problem with that. This is an unbelievable departure from all of that, and they knew it all along.
Okay, any other questions for,
Thank you.
any other speakers on this issue?
There is a hand raised in Zoom.
Okay, if you can put them through.
Sure. Marissa, you are able to unmute yourself and you'll have 3 minutes to speak to the DRC. Are you able to unmute yourself, Marissa? Marissa, are you able to unmute yourself in Zoom? Sorry. We do have a second speaker. Marissa, we'll come back to you in just a moment. Oh, the other speaker's hand is now down. Marissa, any chance that in mute, you can unmute yourself?
Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
Yes, you have the rebuttal period. The applicant has a rebuttal period.
Okay, thank you. Hi, my name is Mark Becker, project designer, been on the project for a very long time, 17 years at this point. I just want to say that I categorically disagree with virtually everything that was just presented. We've gone through many processes for engineering permitting. The tunnel's been permitted, signed off, soils engineers on the site, everything is above board on that. So I disagree with everything that was said. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments to Mr. Becker? Commissioners? Okay, on to commissioners' statements. Richard, you want to start?
Oh, well, my comments are, so I was not on the commission when, in 22, when, I understand that this property, project that was reviewed. But I have seen the drawings that were posted by staff. So, I guess my comments are really to limit it to what we're being asked to speak to here, which is the internal space for this wine tasting room, and I have no objections to it. As to the rest of the history with the property and I mean, I know there's building permit processes that I have to believe that this has gone through in order to construct anything in the county, so I really am not inclined to speak about that, but as far as the interior wine tasting room, I have no objections.
Okay. Travis?
I would second those statements. I don't have any history with how we got here, but I trust that we went through the proper processes to get here, and what's being proposed is appropriate.
Okay, I did sit on the commission, DRC, at that time. I remember the project. Actually, my biggest comment at that time, or my concern, was regarding the lagoon. But we were told that the lagoon had to go through Fish and Wildlife, and that's a long, arduous process, and I thought that, well, it would go through that and probably die, and it died. But we approved it. I don't remember community comments about the train, the items that were being installed originally on the property. I can't say that I was on the ARC commission, although I serve on ARC on probably 95% of the ARC meetings. So it's very likely that I was part of the ARC decision. On the agenda, if you look at the agenda that had the ARC thing that came to us about changes in the grading, it was looked at as being a zoning administrator approval. Largely, the original project had a lot of grading to it. When you look at it incrementally, the additional grading, you know, one commissioner like myself can help make a decision. Planning commissioner as well is involved in the commission decision on ARC. Is that, okay, we already approved so much, is that really going to bump it up to a level that is objectionable, especially when you see it as two different parcels? One parcel has a lot of 420 cubic yards or something like that of excavation, but the other one has 800 some yards of infill. So that means basically a lot of the dirt is being moved between the two parcels that are owned by the same people. So that's easily why it goes to the zoning administrator. Okay. We try to have things go to the lowest level that's practical, not to circumvent the public, because we had the public process. We're using the information we got off the public process to help inform us as to what the community is thinking about this project. So it went through the zoning administrator, it went through the permit process, I understand, with the county to build a tunnel. And now the use of the tunnel, I don't know, maybe I should have asked Mr. Becker, you know, or the applicant, you know, whether they're having these sound shows or whatever, that's probably needs to be reduced. But the fact that it was original train tracks and the operation that was there, I mean, I agree with my other commissioners. If we're looking at this solely as one room, the use of that one room in the tunnel, I can approve the use of that one room. If you're correct and they're wrong, then you're going to determine that through the courts. You're not going to determine it through us. And so I think that it should be adjudicated through the courts, and I'm ready to approve the tasting room as it is right now. Do we have a motion?
Sure. So recommendation, so, I'll make a motion that, I find the project exempt from CEQA, adopt resolution 2025-11, approving the project subject to standard conditions, and just to clarify that we're only responding to item number 1 that was on the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda. HDP 20-24, TP 5625. Awadala? No, I'm butchering people's names.
Sounds good.
This is a R20 zoning request for a hillside development permit, design review, and tree permit to demolish an existing 2,474 square foot single family home and construct a new 3,593 square foot two-story residence with basement, a 452 square foot attached garage, and a Class B ADU with a maximum height of 35 feet. We're removing one protected oak tree within the hillside overlay district at 660 Moraga Road. And tonight's presentation will be by Madison Church.
Thank you. I'm just gonna take a couple seconds to get the screen set up and share properly. That will be seen this morning. And then get going to Zoom. Okay, good to go. Thank you for waiting. My name is Madison Church. I'm the project manager for this hillside development, design review, and tree removal for a new single family home at 660 Moraga Road. Before I begin, I would like to point out, as detailed within the staff report, staff is requesting direction from the DRC on the following residential design guideline. Buildings through design, color, and materials should appear to be in scale with site and neighborhood, generally to minimize size or mess. On the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a vicinity map, which shows the site in the southernmost portion of Moraga Road, right on the edge of city boundaries. On the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see a context map of the site in green, which is just under 1 acre and zoned R20. The site is accessed by a right-of-way easement, which fronts the neighboring homes on Moraga Road. For further context, I provided aerial imagery from Google Earth, which shows that the parcel is not visible from public vantage points. There's also existing mature dense vegetation that restricts view to neighboring parcels. The proposed site plan is shown above. The existing 2,500 square foot home with carport will be completely demolished, and in its place, a 3,500 square foot home with an attached 450 square foot garage is proposed. About 430 square feet of new impervious surface area is proposed as part of the project. 3 trees will be removed, one of which is protected. And the project complies with the R20 setback requirements as shown on the site plan above. The existing floor plans are shown. The lower level and the first floor level both have approximately 1,200 square feet of living area. As mentioned, that home will be completely demolished and in its place, a new building.
Shown above is the proposed basement to become a Class B ADU floor plan. 587 square feet of living area is proposed with a 625 square foot balcony, which is shown on the eastern portion of the floor plan, shown in green. The proposed first floor plan is shown above with 1,700 square feet of living area. And again, another balcony, which is characterized by the green portion of the floor plan. Lastly is the proposed second floor plan, which shows 1,200 square feet of living area and a 465 square foot balcony. Moving on to the elevations, which will show the existing elevations on the top image and the proposed elevation on the bottom image. The proposed home is 2 stories and includes a mix of flat and low pitched roofing. The applicant proposes a mix of brick and stucco facade. There are no nearby neighbors to the north. The front of the home faces directly towards the access easement. The rear elevation or the east side elevation is shown, which shows the height increasing from 27 feet 6 inches to 35 feet. There are no nearby neighbors to the rear. Staff notes that the windows, doors, and balconies on this elevation appear in a repeating fashion, and the DRC may wish to provide feedback on introducing greater variation in these elements to enhance the facade's visual interest. The north side elevation is now shown, which articulates the massing variation. You can see that the second story that's proposed on the top floor is set back from the front, as well as set back from the rear. There's also window variation showing different sizes, shapes, and orientation. There is one nearby neighbor to the north, which I will show in greater detail on the next slide. So on the screen above is a photo that was provided by the applicant. You will see that there's a private driveway which separates the neighbor at 662 Moraga Road and the project site, specifically the north side elevation of the project. You can see that the neighbor at 662 is 1 story and it's sited below the driveway, oriented towards the hill that the driveway sits on, which further confirms that the visibility of this neighbor looks directly at that hillside since it sits at the lower elevation to the road. Now shown is the south side elevation. Again, we're seeing similar massing variation. There are no nearby neighbors to the south. I'd also like to point out that the basement ADU area is considered a true basement and does not meet the definition of a story per the Lafayette Municipal Code. This was a big part of the review of this project, and it's why this project is considered 2 stories with a basement rather than 3 full stories. I'll go into further detail on the next slide to hopefully clarify. So the definition of story per code is quite lengthy. I'm going to specifically read the part that's underlined to show why staff was able to determine that this area was not considered a story. If the finished floor level directly above a basement, cellar, or unused underfloor space is more than 6 feet above the ground adjacent to the building for more than 50% of the total perimeter, or is more than 12 feet above ground at any point, such basement shall be considered a story. So in other words, the finished floor level above the basement of this project is more than 6 feet above the ground adjacent to the building for less than 50% of the total perimeter. And staff asked the applicant to provide the calculations, which are shown on the screen above, to confirm that that percentage is below 50%. Therefore, the basement is not considered a story. Colors and materials proposed for the project are shown above. There's going to be light stucco and brick body as well as retaining walls. And in general, the applicant proposes a color board that are mostly gray tones in the trim, the windows, the roof, and the hardscape. The lighting of the exterior will be downward shielded, so dark sky compliant. The applicant proposes to remove 3 trees, which are called out by X's and red callouts on the site plan. 2 non-protected eucalyptus trees, which are shown on the southern portion of the site plan. The arborist recommends removal of these trees due to their size and proximity to the residence. These trees are not protected under the tree protection ordinance and do not provide significant screening as the area is already characterized by dense, mature vegetation. The arborist recommends either safety pruning or possible removal of the coast live oak, which is on the northern portion of the site plan. Staff has included a condition of approval requiring safety pruning of the tree first prior to any removal. If the tree poses a hazardous condition, the applicant may supply supporting documentation from the arborist, and then staff would re-review the request to remove the tree. The project was referred to various outside agencies and comments were received from engineering, Central Sand, and EB Mud, but none of which would require redesign of the project. The project was noticed and posted 10 days in advance of the meeting, and no public comments were received. Again, staff is requesting general feedback from the DRC, but also specific direction on the following residential design guideline. Staff recommends the DRC review the project, provide feedback on the proposal, find the project exempt from CEQA, and adopt resolution 2025-16, approving the project subject to conditions of approval. Thank you, and happy to answer any questions.
I have one question. The live oak that you're trimming, how does that sit in relationship to the house that is next door? Is that in danger of falling on their house in any way, or what?
The arborist report didn't provide a lot of detail pertaining to that. I do know that this tree has a 30-foot canopy, which is what the arborist commented. And I believe it extends towards the neighbor, if I remember what the arborist report.
Does it show up on Google Maps? I didn't look at Google Maps myself.
No, the site
No.
is heavily set back from Morocco Road, so you can't see it from Google Maps.
Okay.
I can probably answer that question.
Is it, are you the neighbor there?
No, I'm
Oh.
a designer.
Is
Oh,
it,
Before you
okay.
go that real quickly, could you go up to the dais and
Does he want to get into the presentation and then pose that as?
Was he doing the presentation?
I can.
Then I'll redirect it to you at the presentation. Yeah, no reason to get you up now. Any other questions by commissioners?
No.
Okay,
No.
thank you, Madison. The applicant is, got 10 minutes to present.
Yes, I'm gonna pull that up and get it shared for you.
Thanks.
Hello, commissioners, and hello, public. My name is Adam from ARAD Engineering. Let me just start by saying that it's been my honor to work with City of Lafayette on this project. I've worked all over East Bay for the past several years, and working with City of Lafayette was truly my honor, and I learned a lot from Madison. As she said, we've been going through quite a process on this project. Specifically to answer your question, the property, the parcel on the north side, 662, as Madison pointed out, the actual resident sits below the existing driveway, but that parcel 662 includes two parcels. One that has that primary residence that Madison pointed out, and also there is a vacant parcel with a separate parcel number, vacant parcel further south that way. So your question regarding the oak tree, that oak tree is adjacent to that vacant parcel that belongs to the owner of 662.
Okay, thank you.
Mostly my presentation today, we talk about, on the few slides that I developed, talk about the renderings, exterior renderings and interior renderings to help commissioners with visualization of the proposed development. So the first slide includes the exterior view of the proposed development. As you see, we are respecting the topography of the site and we are following the contour lines by stepping back each floor. And the next slide, we are proposing and we are providing the exterior renderings of the frontage of the development. As Madison pointed out, the garage faces right toward the existing easement. And there is minimal elevation increase in terms of the impact to the adjacent member. The adjacent member on 662 is about 100 feet to the north, and on 666 is about 150 feet toward northwest. And then we have about 180 feet from up of Moraga Road to get to the property. Next slide gives a better vision of the overall development. As you see, we are following the contour line by stepping back on each floor. And the next few slides, we are presenting the proposed development and the proposed floor plan for each floor, basement plan, and the next one that includes the first floor plan. We also include the renderings of the kitchen area, I believe. Yes, this one. So the kitchen design, interior, kind of like exterior, what Madison talked about, we are trying to follow the dim setting and not very harsh on color, both interior and exterior, again, to help with the aesthetic and the visualization of the project, both exterior and interior. The next slide, we develop a rendering to showcase the dining room design on the first floor. And the next slide, we develop a rendering for the dining room from another angle for the first floor. And the last slide, I believe, is the rendering for the bedroom. Again, for the entire design, both interior and exterior, we are following pretty much dim pattern and not very much harsh color. That's it, bro.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, actually I do. So the elevation, I'm gonna call it the front elevation, which is where the entry doors are and the garage door is. The element that's to the left where the brick is has a flat roof, which seems out of keeping with the rest of the house. And I just wanted to know, what was your thinking with the way that's handled as a design element? I think there was like a 3D that showed it pretty well. So the second one in maybe shows it better. That one. So to the left there, it's a bedroom space, I believe. And it has a flat roof. And I'm just curious, what was your thinking in that element rather than having a roof that more closely matched the rest of the house?
That's a very good comment, and it's something that, at least on our side, the new concept that we are contemplating, and we presented a couple of alternatives to the property owner, is some sort of like modular style. So we pop out and make one side of the building more bold versus the other side follow the same pattern. So that was the concept. And to give you a little more context, like we presented a couple of alternatives, and that was the alternative that the owner selected. But if there is a specific comment or concern, we are okay. We just wanted to make one side of the building bold versus the other side, so we have different pattern in terms of roof plan.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
No comments.
Did you consider any other color schemes?
Exterior wise?
Yeah, exterior.
Mostly kind of like what Madison talked about, dim color, gray color for stucco and also for the brick color to match with the surrounding area.
The neighbor on one side, but not the other neighbor.
In terms of,
Color, lightness. I mean, well, okay, I'll speak about it when I get to my comment section. Okay. Okay. We have opportunity for the public to make comments. I have Mr. Harry Nigel.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Yeah, 3 minutes.
Oh, that's great. By the way, love this. But today was the first day we saw it. So I think, really just a couple of comments. First of all, thank you for inviting us to the meeting. I live next door. I think the aerial view with the crowns of the trees is somewhat deceptive. When you are on my deck, I can see my neighbors' houses. I think the scale of the house, and I love the fact that we're doing something there because that house is an eyesore right now. I would love to be able to speak to you and talk about the design because it's 30% larger than we thought you guys were going to do. I think also my neighbor who has 2 parcels, she may be down out of kind of the eye line, but you're going to create a shadow on her house. So again, that could be my imagination, but we should talk about that. But for this meeting today, I saw a notice, heard about it, sent a letter off today. I realized I missed the deadline, didn't even know this was going on. But with that said, I support this proposal. I think both my neighbor and I, we were talking earlier, we actually support it because we need something better there. The only thing we're concerned about is her family's lived there for 70 years. We've been there 15 years. We kind of enjoy the quiet, the peace of that little spot. Not really looking forward to a monster house, and you're not doing that. But we would like to make sure that, you know, when you overlook the house, you're not invading privacy, you're not putting us in the shadow. I did send a letter off earlier. If that can be included, I leave that up to you guys. But I had some concerns because living on a slope, we're concerned about drainage. When you even get a little bit of rain, that affects us. Trees I'm not so worried about because some of those eucalyptus, they're a hazard, they need to go. The other thing is the parcels, the way they're currently set up, is an easement for you to drive over, my neighbor to get to her house. We want to make sure that when construction happens, that there isn't an issue about where stuff gets left, etc. and staged. But really, I love what I've seen. I just wish I'd seen it before, and I really want to open that dialogue. Because the one thing our neighbors have done is we love each other and want to make sure that, not just Lafayette, but we guys know what's going on. Don't keep us in the dark, because we want to be really open. We'll support you guys. And at the end of the day, we're going to have the same issues, the 3 homes. Yeah. Being there 70 years, my neighbor, that vacant lot is not a vacant lot. She keeps it for the deer. She's rich enough to do that. Yeah. So don't mess with the deer. So again, I'm not here because I'm annoyed or anything. I want there to be transparency. I don't like a little piece of paper on a pole somewhere, and I just happened to come home because I was traveling to see it. That sounds like a little archaic, a little bit medieval for me. Put me on the email, put my neighbor on the email. Let's see that. I don't even know which, is that pointing east or north or south? I'd love to see that with some directions. In my letter, I put down maybe half a dozen suggestions I'd like to see. If you could just take that on, doesn't have to go through 100 committees, but if you take that on, I'd appreciate that.
for sure. Thank you.
I'm
Sri Nigel and I live at 666 Moraga Road, so we're not the immediate neighbour, we're like,
Excuse me,
Okay.
yes,
All right, if he's done, you can come up to and
And you'll have to-
introduce yourself. Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Are you
Thank you
Ms.
so much.
Adams? Ms. Adams?
I'm Surrender Nigel and
Oh.
I reside at 666 Moraga Road. We're not
Oh.
the.
Oh, did I need to fill out another form?
No, there's one that says Adam.
That's me.
Oh.
You can fill
I'm
out
so-
a speaker's
Okay,
after.
We're not immediate neighbours, so where the proposed development is at the end of the street. Then Trill, who is the immediate neighbour who lives at the elevation below, is situated there, and then we're the third neighbour. There's 3 neighbours on 5 acres of land, okay? And we're just a bit further down the street. My only concern was concern that I had was around the colour. It's very woodsy, green, kind of, I don't know about the grey, the black, that kind of thing. Otherwise, I don't have a problem with the general, how it will look, because we share that street. So we're looking at that garage side of the house every time we come in. I'm not sure I love the grey, black colour scheme. I thought they might go for something that kind of fits into the general woodland area that it fits into. That's my chief concern, really. That's it.
okay. Thank you very much. If you can fill out a slip for us though. Okay, do we have anyone on Zoom?
If the participant on Zoom would be interested in speaking at this time, please use the raise hand feature. There are no hands raised.
Okay, Adam, do you want to rebuttal anything?
No, I think their comments are valuable, so we will definitely open the dialogue with you then.
Okay,
You're on.
you should have received something in the mail as well.
I did
It's
not.
not,
I did not.
okay, just note that.
I can go back to the mailing list, but notices were sent out to property owners within 300 feet. You definitely would have been included on the list, and I can pull that list up now and check it if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay, commissioners, who wants to start on comments?
I would say one thing, I think generally, if the neighborhood is excited about this project in the sense that it's an improvement, then you can all amicably figure out a solution. Yeah, we don't want to stand in the way of community being a community. So I would say it's, I don't see any issue right now.
Okay. Richard?
So I asked about that little section of roof over that bedroom area. Because it looks awkward to me, I'll just say, but I don't have any issue with the rear elevation. It fits the slope. I don't have any issue with the side elevations, although if you do look at it's labeled as the north side elevation, it just looks odd. We have a kind of building with this little thing out here it would benefit from having a roof on it that matched the low sloped roofs that are elsewhere in the building, in my view. And then my second comment would just be about the colors, which has been mentioned. For this location, something that was more in the earth tones would be a better selection. And then what was actually called out was kind of vague. The color is a naturally pinky, light blonde, creamy beige, earthy, or red infused sandy tones. That's not very specific. I'm sorry, but it could, I think a different color scheme would benefit the building. So those are my 2 comments.
Okay, I sort of, I didn't think about the roof in the front. It may be beneficial, what Richard says. I didn't really pay much attention to that. I thought the window scheme was a little monotonous, but the problem is that when you look at elevations on a piece of paper, they look horrible. When you look at the renderings and you see the relationship of the rail and railings and stuff like that. Plus, when I actually went and I looked room by room, you know, okay, this is the living room. You want a sliding glass door there. This is the master bedroom. I want a sliding glass door. I can open up at night, you know. Some of the times you would say, okay, let's substitute a window instead and have less. But it didn't seem to me like it was in air, okay? I mean, it looked like, okay, I intentionally want a door there, and unfortunately, a sliding glass door is gonna look the same as the sliding glass door from one room to the next, you know? I think that I would change the color scheme, you know? And everybody talks about earth tones, but I actually like green. You're in the trees. It gives a more of a tree house, like you're sitting you're looking down from those balconies as if you were extending out in those trees. And so I would entertain that. Maybe all we would need to do is have one commissioner review a revision on the color scheme. If they choose to go that route, I would highly suggest that going that route.
I mean, I'd just add on there, I mean, I think something darker than what's.
Yes,
proposed,
dark,
which is
I think
very
darker. Yeah, even if you went gray, I still think darker would be
Yeah.
better.
darker that
Yeah.
fit into the hillside more than this, what's presented to us, which is, just seems very
Very light.
light.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on my little comment on the roofing?
Do you have a problem with putting a roof on that structure?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if you look at the gable ends elsewhere in the building, it's a very shallow slope right on the that shows up in the other elevations. And I didn't see any, that's not a roof deck or anything there, so it just seemed like having a slight slope to it that would tie into the rest of the house would be an advantage. And also you've got the front door there, which gets sort of lost in the design. And I think having a little bit of a roof there would, you know, that extends over where the front doors are, so it goes all the way into the main wall, would help give some more presence to that front door, to the entryway, and make it feel more like an entry rather than, you know, a side door off the garage. It kind of has that sense now. So
Understood.
that makes sense.
Understood, yes.
Yeah.
We will do.
Otherwise,
Okay, so
I'm
do
fine
I-
with the.
Do I have a motion? Who wants to summarize that?
It sounds like maybe me, okay. So I'll make a motion that we find the project exempt from CEQA and adopt DRC resolution 2025-16. Approving the project subject to conditions, and then just with the two conditions being that an alternative color scheme presented, and do we want to make it to staff? And then staff could pull in one of us if there were any questions, is that?
If they're gonna be darker tones, staff can do it, yes.
I would think so. And then, so I have to make sure I'm correct here. So it's the southwest. Yeah, one-story element that contains 2 bedrooms. It's that. So I think I'm identifying it correctly. That's got the brick facing on it. That the design accommodate a low sloped roof that matches the slope on the other elements of the house where there's a sloped roof. Just, it's gonna help make it fit in better with the overall design.
Okay, and then lastly, anything that you resolve with the neighbors will just be reviewed by staff.
But,
You go with that?
yeah.
Okay, right, thanks.
Okay, do I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, next item on the agenda. Art volunteer, I volunteer, okay?
We're gonna leave, but thank you so much for taking our time.
Okay.
And if we were on mailing,
Let me elaborate because, and you're welcome to come look at this
we can.
if you'd like to, but essentially the mailing list is sent to owner addresses, and it appears here that your owner listed address is not the residence that you currently reside in, so it would have been
So it's
sent.
not changed.
Where was it?
So my address is something else?
So your address is listed here.
Where do I live?
That was our
Oh, old house.
our old house.
So that's
15
not,
years ago.
that is not gonna help us.
Okay,
So we can talk with you about how you can best go about updating the tax record so that.
We're paying taxes, so, but we're happy because we wanted to make sure that you guys got your approval. But also, we'd just love to know a little bit more. All right.
okay,
so
thank you.
much. Thank you.
Commissioners report, do we have any commissioners to report anything?
Negative.
Maybe just no, I mean, we did have a meeting, I don't think there's anything to report out about our meeting, but on, thinking of the, objectives, design standards for residents.
Oh, that's right. Which you guys,
Had one meeting.
We had the
Well,
first meeting with the consultant and we made, I consider a lot of progress. And we have another meeting, not this Thursday, the following Thursday. And then, oh, you should look at your calendar because we have a special meeting coming up for DRC on, what was it, November 20th, I think.
for what purpose? For this same.
Because all the objective standards are gonna go for
This is
public
the same
comments,
thing.
and it's gonna go
Yeah.
to public comments through DRC.
Okay,
And this will also be DRC's opportunity to fine tune some numbers. There's some numbers that we have about. Should this be 40 feet, 60 feet, 100 feet, you know?
I like 20.
Yeah,
20
20 is always a nice number.
But it's an opportunity.
So,
for the other-
am I right on the date? The 20th is a Thursday?
Um,
And it's right near Thanksgiving, so.
The 20th is a is next Monday, next Thursday is the 20th.
No,
Yeah,
it's November 20th.
You're right, it is November 20th, it's 7 o'clock.
Yes, November 20th is a Thursday.
Okay, so
Okay.
keep that in mind.
Got it.
We need a quorum.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very good.
staff liaison report.
No.
Okay, adjourned. Thank you very much.